Welcome to this demonstration of RotaTrack Lite, which forms part of the RotaTrack suite of products. RotaTrack Lite is a standalone program corresponding to the Phase 1 installation of the full version of RotaTrack. It is written using Fourth Dimension, a stable databasing program as used by such organizations as NASA, Hewlett-Packard, Apple, and Goldman Sachs. With only moderate data requirements, it enables the automated generation of the weekly theatre template, the automated assignment of consultant anaesthetists for both fixed and floating sessions, and the manual assignment of trainees. It has the added advantage of being able to be expanded into the more comprehensive versions of RotaTrack, into which the RotaTrack Lite data will be seamlessly migrated. The program manages consultant assignments by matching their availability and their fixed sessions and their skills when it comes to the floating sessions. In order to demonstrate how the program works, we will first look at the tasking. In other words, we look at the lists themselves. In order to do this, we can look at the lists which are in the database. These are user configurable and can be added to by you, the user, when required. In order to do this, we click the L icon and we can see all the lists that have been entered into this database. Since RotaTrack Lite only automates the assignment of the consultants, the base setting for each list is that they have equal complexity. However, where specialized skills are required, for instance pediatrics or cardiothoracic skills, these can be defined for the required lists. An example of this is pediatric orthopedics. If we double click on that, we can see that under the specialties required, pediatrics is a requirement. Now these can be added to simply by clicking on the Add button, and here we get a user configurable list of specialty skills, and we can add upper limb nerve blocks, which means that now this list has a requirement of a consultant who has pediatric skills plus upper limb nerve block skills. Required specialty is just as easily removed simply by clicking on the particular specialty and clicking the delete button. We can now move on to the detail of particular sessions. To do this again, we need to return to the splash screen, and we can click on the theatre icon to see a list of all the theatres that we have. Double clicking on a particular theatre will give us the weekly view of all the sessions within that theatre. Double clicking on the particular session, here the Monday morning, will give us a detailed view of the session itself. This is where the fixed information that RotaTrack Lite works from. It looks to see the theatre period, it looks to see whether there is a known named surgeon, it looks to see what the list is, and it looks to see whether or not there is a known named consultant anaesthetist. The trainees are not assigned at this stage, they are assigned after the rota or roster is created. We can now move on to the final element in the setup of the weekly template in RotaTrack Lite, and that is the diary. In order to do that, we need to move back to the splash screen and click on the diary icon, and here we can see the diary opened in front of us. The diary works on the who, what and when principle. In booking the who, we can either use the quick find box or we can scroll down the list of individuals. So here we can use the quick find to look for condyris. We click on Condaris to highlight for the program that this is the individual that we want to book. The what is chosen from the drop-down menu here, and here we can choose a study leave. These items are again user configurable and can be added to. The when can be chosen by clicking on the date box here. A calendar opens and the appropriate date can be chosen. We can now go ahead and book this particular diary event. This new window allows you to set the duration of the event by choosing a different end date. If the diary event is only due to last a number of hours, this can be set here with the start time and here with the finish time. The duration will be automatically calculated. In addition, on this page we can see that we have a traffic light system which relates to whether or not there is a conflict with this booking and whether or not this booking is going to exceed the quota. Now the quota traffic light is green, in which case this is okay. However, the conflict traffic light is red, which means that there is a clash on this particular date. We therefore click on this red traffic light and we see information relating to what the clash is. The clash here is from a previously created rota which shows that Dr. Condaris should be in Urology Theatre 1 at the same time as this study leave. There are three options allowed here. Disallowing the new booking will delete it. Removing the conflicting booking will take Dr. Condaris out of that list, and acknowledging / allowing the new diary item will allow the equivalent of a double booking, but that is something that will have to be decided by the administrator. If we decide to allow the study leave to go ahead and remove the conflicting booking, we click on the conflicting booking. We have another conflict, which is the morning part of the all-day list. Click on that too. We can then authorize the leave, and RotaTrack Lite will remind you that it's going to remove Dr. Condaris from these two theatre sessions. In this view we can see that the booking has been confirmed. We can now move on to the actual generation of the rota, and to do that we again return to the splash screen and we click on the R button for rota generation. Here we can choose which weekly template to use and which theatre location or locations that we want to include. Having chosen the template and the locations, we click the Accept button. A calendar opens and you can choose which week you wish to generate the rota for. You can go as far in advance as you wish, but you must choose a Monday because the entire week is being generated. At this stage, RotaTrack Lite will pick up any problems to do with the fixed sessions. Clicking OK, we can see that the anaesthetist, Dr. Cardio, is unavailable because of a diary clash on the 2nd of October. We can choose to print this out, or we can just click OK to take us to the view of the template for that particular week. From here we can see all the sessions that occur throughout this weekly rota. Now we know that on the Friday There were 2 sessions uncovered because Dr. Cardio was unavailable for Theatre 7. Any uncovered session at this stage shows green. It is at this stage that we can automatically assign those consultants on their float sessions or consultants who've been freed up from cancelled lists, and we do this simply by clicking the Assign button. The assigning process affects the entire week, but we'll continue to look at the Friday, and we'll look to see what's happened with Theatre 7. And here we can see that Dr. Chisholm has been automatically assigned into this session. At this stage we can run a check process simply by clicking the check button, and this process will check to see whether there are any uncovered sessions. The program lists any uncovered sessions. We can print them out or click OK, and we will see them by clicking the Not OK button, and they show up red. And the choice now is whether to seek another consultant to come in and cover that list, or manually assign a trainee to cover that list. And your local knowledge will allow you to understand which trainee can cover it on the basis of what their abilities are. Assign the trainee, uncheck the Cancel button, and the list will no longer show red, but it will show green to show that it is not covered by a consultant anaesthetist. The full version of RotaTrack will actually do the automated assignment of the trainees as well as the consultants. Clicking the check button again will give you an updated list of any problems. And here we can see that there is 1 less session listed. We can now return to the full view of all the sessions. We can now print out the weekly rota simply by clicking the print button, choosing the style, here 5-day anaesthetic rota AM and PM, choosing the output. We have a PDF driver, give the rota a name, and we now have a printout which can either go onto the intranet or be produced as a hard copy. Looking at the PDF printout, we can see that there is a cancelled list there, and this is vascular, and the reason for that is there's no consultant and no trainee has been assigned. Obviously, if there are trainees who can do it, or if a consultant should be reassigned from another list, then this would be uncancelled. RotaTrack Lite can export to Excel. It can produce reports on various aspects of departmental work, and it provides a very powerful tool to support your department into the future. Thank you for spending time and listening to this demonstration.